Now that Carter's in the fold, I guess, do you have a plan of what his workload looks like, and what were the reports from Henderson after his 3 starts? Do you feel encouraged, or?
Reports where he played well. The last game, couple unlucky goals late. First game he played, there wasn't a lot of action. So we're all good with that. You know, the purpose of Henderson was to get him back into live reps. He can practice with us with NHL shooters, but traffic around the net, screens, all that stuff sometimes can be hard to replicate, especially when we haven't played that often. So get some reps. We're less worried about the results, more getting reps, get used to that stuff. I don't know if you spoke to him, if he critiqued himself there. I don't know that or not. I'm sure he did. He knows the position better than I do. As for his use, we'll make that determination here going forward. The schedule is favorable in terms of there's not a ton of back-to-back, so we could probably space it out if that's the direction we wanted to go pretty well. Obviously, Akira's played well too, so we got to keep mindful of, you know, he has to stay sharp. So I'm sure you'll see a lot of both goalies, but Carter's waited a long time to play, so he's definitely going to get his share of starts. Will he start tomorrow? I'll let you know tomorrow morning, but that's how we're looking at it. But I don't want to say Danny's going to play 70% of the games or whatever. Let's get him in there, get him working, and see how he recovers from an NHL game, and go from there. Because we want him to be, you know, ready when he's in there physically. It'll be the mental battle, right? Getting in there and playing every night and getting back to being an NHL goalie. It's been a while, so we want to make sure we take care of that part as well.
You mentioned he hasn't played in a long time, and there's probably going to be a learning curve there. How do you balance that with needing results in a tight playoff chase where everybody's close?
Well, we kind of went through it with like Lindbom a little bit to a certain extent. It was his first go-around playing, and you know, every game you hope they get a little more up to speed, so to speak. I mean, Lindbom had been playing, but he'd never played an NHL game, so that's a big ask to go in there. So we've been through that a little bit, so we'll balance it. We also know he needs to get his starts. He just has to. So we're going to have to be patient no matter what the result. And we don't know what that'll be. We're all hoping he'll go out there and be terrific his first game. But, you know, missing that much time, I'm not expecting, you know, I'm going to expect rust. So in order to shake off the rust, you got to play. So he's going to get his fair share of starts, and hopefully he gets a little more comfortable every time. That's probably the best I could leave it. That's the way we're going to approach it, and really see where it goes.
Coach Evan, the Make-A-Wish kid, is here today and tomorrow with you guys. How important is it for your team to keep inspiring young fans like him?
Yeah, our guys do a great job in the community, so I think it's really important to give back. I mean, every one of those guys in the room is an idol to some young hockey player out there. And they were all young players at one point too that idolized somebody. So I think they have a good head on their shoulders, and they remember that and how they would have liked to interact with a professional player when they were that age. So I think our guys are great. And hopefully Evan has a great 2 days. Hope we get a win tomorrow. And he enjoys his time here. So that's what we're all looking forward to.
Any update on Carlson or Hill or Lausanne?
Nothing new on Carly or Hill, or Losey for that matter, in terms of them joining us for practice.
What about on the trip? Nope. Probably not.
No, I would say no, but ask me Wednesday morning, I guess. I mean, I guess the trainers could come to me and say they'd be around the team if they're going to join us for skates. That's usually why you'd bring them if they don't think they're going to play, but I have no inclination of that just yet. So we'll see how it goes.
We saw you guys practicing some 3-on-3 out there today. They've had some time to practice. What is it that you want them to work on in those scenarios? Because it is hard to obviously replicate a true 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, today we usually play a small ice game that's a 2-on-2. It's for angles and just pace, get moving, be creative. Today we did a more full ice because that's what overtime looks like, 3-on-3. But we didn't necessarily get into pairs and just play and control the puck and get back to simulating defending with the length of the ice with wherever you end up out there as two forwards and a D. Just get a little more comfortable with some reps. So that's step one. I think a big part of overtime is shot selection, when you're going to attack, when you're not. So today some of it should just happen organically because you should realize, hey, I'm a 1-on-2, maybe I got to turn back. Using the goalie if you're tired to get there's line changes. We didn't get into all of that today. We discussed those things, and you'd hope it translated. It hasn't for us yet. Although I'll say this, I don't think the line change have been an issue for us in overtime, or it's been puck management as much of everything. And I'll say it again, you hope the players just, make the right decision in those moments. Because if I go out there and tell them, well, don't turn the puck over, I mean, that's it's hard. So I think today was more about getting different people accustomed playing, because we don't always use everybody. And maybe that's where I got to be better, is, hey, maybe it's time to use some different people in overtime and see if, that solves the problem. But then you look at most teams, it's their top guys that score out there. So there's a little bit of that back and forth that I'm going to have to kind of reconcile. And hopefully we just win our next damn overtime game so I don't have to talk about it, to be honest with you.
Would you mention that Carl Lindbom came in, had 7 starts. He finally got a win the other night. Now he's back down in Henderson. What does it say about Lindbom, his first extended NHL time up here, and just what was the message as now he goes back down to Henderson and rejoining them?
Well, the message is, he's got to keep getting better no matter whether he got called up or not, right? So that's part of it. You got to grow your game down there. There's competition. There's Vickman and Whitehead that are young goalies that wants what he got. They want their chance. So that's part of it. You got to keep your spot, first of all. And then there's, okay, what's your takeaway from these 7 games that you feel like, you need to be a regular NHL goalie? I mean, he's going to sort through a little bit of that. And how do you build on that part of your game while you're down there focusing on getting better and winning for Henderson, right? So there's a little bit of that he'll go through. Keep your confidence. It's great that he got a win. I think the guys were super excited. He deserved one. He'd played decent hockey for us. We didn't score a lot for him. So I think the record's a little bit out of whack. So that's what I'd tell him. Be confident. He's a smaller goalie that has to play with a certain level of confidence and athleticism and structure. But the smaller guys have to be confident in their ability to read the play, because they just don't take up as much net. So that's part of it that he has to keep, not doubt himself, and he shouldn't. Like I said, I'm sure Berkey gave him positive feedback going back. Ending on a win, I think, was really probably mentally a huge weight off his shoulders, and so he's going back in hopefully a good place.
Smith and Saad rotated, looked like, during rushes. Is that more of a tomorrow call, and where you think?
Yeah, we'll make a decision tomorrow. We spoke with both players before the game against San Jose, and we met with them again today. So they're veteran guys, and they deserve that respect, and we also like the game Reinhart's playing in that role. And Smitty and Sad aren't necessarily that, they've been they've definitely been top 9, top 6 guys at times in their life, in their career. And we like Rhino in that role. So that makes it a little more difficult if there's only one chair for, you got 2 players. So we'll sort through that. We think Bowman's done a good job as a call-up, so we want to reward him for his play and see where it goes. I thought Holtzy had a decent game the other night. He got pinched on that 3rd goal, and you wanted to win that battle, but we didn't support him very well away from the puck. We had a D that got a little aggressive, thinking we're going to move it up ice. So he did win some board battles. There was one in the 3rd where he got, took a big hit, 2 guys, and he got it to Hurdle, and we had a 2-on-1 with him and Pav, and their D made a good play. So he made some good plays. It was harder on puck, so he's a guy in the conversation as well. So we have good choices, but no matter which one we make, there's probably going to be someone who's not happy, right? That's the downside of it.
The last couple games has gotten extended time in the ozone. Is it more just puck retrieval in that situation, just keeping it, or is there something else there that you've noticed?
Yes, and I also think his shot selection has been better. I think we've been a little more patient. neither San Jose or Montreal were overly aggressive on their kill, and I'd say Ottawa's half and half, maybe, if I remember. So when they're like that, you got to make sure you get the shot you want. I thought we've done a better job with that, working to try to get this what we want, which is usually into the middle of the ice, if that's Hurts, or the seam to Pav, those sort of plays where the goalie's moving a bit or in tight shots. We did a good job with that. I thought we won face-offs too. We start with the puck a little more than maybe we had in the past. I think the last road trip we're out west, Hurdle kept getting thrown out for some reason. Didn't matter what was going on. It was Utah, and he seemed to get tossed every power play face-off. So now you got a right stick in there against probably one of their better guys. So we weren't starting with the puck as much too. I think that helped us the last couple games.
Or just now that you're finally here, where do you feel like your game is at right now?
I feel good. It was nice to go down to Henderson, get some game action. I've just been practicing for a year and a half, so it's nice to get into a real game, and a few games down there, different scenarios that you can't replicate in practice. And so it was, the guys down there were awesome. Players, staff, everybody was really good, and it was nice just to play.
What did you take away from your 3 starts?
Just nice to be back in the mix with the boys. I think just, like I said, things in practice that you can't replicate. Broken plays, screens, tips, layered traffic, things like that. I think just kind of first game was a little nervous, and I think the second game was good. Third game, some weird bounces, kind of a weird game, but no, it just felt good to be playing again, and just to get running down there and prepare for tomorrow night if I get the call.
How different do you feel now compared to when you first played that game in Henderson?
I feel a lot better, even just in practice. Like coming here back in October was just kind of the third guy because I couldn't play, and so most of my work was done before and after practice. So just to be able to even go down there and have my own net and practice, and they had a lot of practice time, and then now back up here and just back into a normal practice routine. It's huge. Like it's helped a lot.
Does it feel normal now?
It does. It feels a lot better.
Do you still wonder what it's going to be like in the NHL game? Are there still questions of what that's going to be like for you without playing for this long?
I think for me, just preparation is everything. I've worked my ass off to get back to this point, and for me, it's the key lies to preparation, and I've done everything I can to be prepared, and I'll be prepared if I get the call tomorrow.
How different is your game now than it was the last time you played in the NHL? Practicing for a year and a half, I have to imagine you've changed some techniques or something. How different of a goalie are you now than you were?
There's a few things that we've worked on, just with the people that I work with back home, and just all around. But there's obviously the foundation of my game hasn't changed, but there's some details in my game that we've worked on and tidied up, and I feel really good.
You mentioned a lot about you worked on your structure a lot when you were away. Just what does that look like when you're working on it when you're not really in game action? What does that structure work look like as far as making sure you keep yourself sharp?
Yeah, just little details. Like I said, it's different where you're just practicing for a while, and you can't really replicate things like broken plays and layered traffic and things like that. But in practice, it's a lot more structured stuff. For me, there's a few details, like I was telling him, that we've worked on, and some things that we've tidied up. And it's the same every off season for me that I've had, where we've had a plan going in and work on a few things and come out of the off season ready to go. It's just this time it's been a bit of an extended off season. So,
how do you feel physically through that first game through the first game or for the last game? Were you tired?
I actually feel great. No, it was. I thought maybe it would be a little bit. Legs might be a bit heavy, but I actually feel great. I felt great in those games. I put a lot of work in off the ice with my trainer back home, and I'm in great shape right now, and I feel good.
What's it been like working with Sean Burke and then Freddie Pathfield and Henderson? Just what those guys have been able to help you in coming back into this point?
Yeah, it's been great. Berkey's been awesome. Freddie was great. I know Freddie from some junior stuff back in the day, and Freddie's a great man and a good coach, and we got a lot of good quality working together down there. Together with Vix, Vickman, who's a great kid down there, and then back up here with Berkey. He's easy to get along with, smart guy. He's been around the game for a long time, played for a long time, and no, it's been a blast working with everybody.
The last time we spoke to you, you mentioned that you wanted to kind of do some things in the community and prove your real character. You said you didn't really have enough time to kind of know what you were going to do yet. Has that kind of cleared up yet? If you know kind of what you're planning on doing yet?
Yeah, there's been a few things that we've talked about. I know we did a thing there in Henderson, helping out the homeless, and but there's some things that we've talked about throughout the season, and whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to help.
You didn't face a ton of shots down in Henderson in your first start, and then you didn't see a ton of shots for your other 2 starts. Does that make it harder to evaluate where your game's at with people saying floating plays and the tips and the stuff you can't replicate?
Yeah, I mean, not a ton of work, so it's a little different. But I mean, for me, the biggest thing was just going down there and just getting minutes of game reps, things that I haven't seen in a while, and for me coming out of it, I think it was very valuable, and I'm happy with where I'm at right now with my game.
You often hear goalies say it's easier to play in the NHL than in the American League. Is that true for you, and if so, why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure. I think maybe more things are a little bit more unstructured down there. Maybe a little more free reign for guys to make certain plays down there that maybe they wouldn't try up here. I think maybe things up here are a little bit more structured, and guys are in certain places that they're supposed to be in. I think down there, guys are fighting to get to the next level and trying to make plays, and it's a little bit more chaotic.
Have you allowed yourself to think about that first moment back in the National Hockey League?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've thought about it a lot over the past couple of years, so it's what's kept me going to get back to this point.
If you do get the call tomorrow, is it more? Do you think it's going to be excitement, nerves? What do you think?
Yeah, obviously there'll be nerves. I mean, I get nerves before every game, but that's just because I care so much. But at the end of the day, those nerves turn into excitement, and it's a game I've played my whole life, and I've played a lot of hockey in the NHL, and I've been here before, and yeah, I haven't played in a while, but it's going to feel good to get back out there and just get back playing again and get things rolling here in Vegas.